Welcome. We are initiating ourselves to have an overview of Vedic mathematical domain. Today, our focus is to remain upon the overviews of Source Sutra, that is Ganita Sutra-1. As Ganita Sutra-1 is the Source Sutra, as such, naturally, there are going to be a very large number of features which have to be glimpsed and imbibed. Today, we are taking 7 tables of such features, and these 7 tables constitute section 1 of this organization data. Ganita Sutra 1 is the source sutra. This sutra is of multiple features. These features are being organized in different sections. Today, we are visiting only section 1. This section 1 consists of as many as 7 tables. The first table is about the organization data, the text of Ganita Sutra 1. The text is Eka Adhikain Purvain. Today, as we are listing this text or its organizational data, so in the expression sheet, there is a data table designated as data table 1 text composition. This text is of one complete wholesome hymn. As such, first feature is that it accepts value 1 for the wholeness of the text. Further, this text is a composition of a pair of words. As such, this text accepts and associates value 2 to it parallel with the organization being of a pair of words. Further, as this text is availing as many as 16 letters, therefore value 16 gets associated with this. This text of 16 letters is making 8 syllables. So the association of value 8 with it. One may have a pause here and take note that value 1 as ek is of TC value 8. Value 2 as Dway is value 16. So the organization Ekadhiken Purvain is availing in all 8 vowels and 8 consonants. This further brings us face to face with Dway as ek plus ek, 1 plus 1. In fact, it is this feature which inherently takes us to the functional rule of Eka Adhikain Purvain being 1 more than before. So essentially it is value 2. It is the composition feature of pair of words availing 8 vowels and 8 consonants, which is having inherent inbuilt foundational feature of this text. Now, this range of 16 letters lead us to the TCV value as 75 and TTCV value is 619. One may have a pause here and take note that Devanagari alphabet is a setup of 50 letters. Out of these 50 letters, 42 letters are organized as 14 Maheshwara Sutras, and 14 Maheshwara Sutras lead us to TC value 283, parallel with the value of the total letters of the Ganita Sutras 1 to 16. The other 8 letters, the Yama letters, are leading to TC value 100. And also we know that the text of Ganita Sutra avails 283 letters, while the text of Ganita Sutras avails 236 letters. So the total letters of the text of Sutras and Sutras 519. And this is so with respect to the 42 letters set, and then the value 100 of Yama letters. Addition that way, the TTC value 619 of this of 16 letters has a very blissful foundation. It is this blissful foundation which makes this sutra as a source of sutra. We will be coming to it eventually. Table 2 is the table of 10 distinct features of TCV values. These 10 distinct folds of TCV values of each letter. So here of each of the 16 letters as such, for Ekadike and Purvin together brings us a very wide, very rich spectrum of different streams flow from the source sutra. These 10 folds of 16 letters, in all 160 folds, with organization 16 into 10, takes us to the transcendental cavity at the transcendental origin of the creator's space of a spatial order of quadruple spatial dimensions constituting the dimensional frame. Therefore, this table of 10 folds of TCV for all the 16 letters as such very blissfully brings us face to face with the transcendental flow. The transcendental flow from the source reservoir of Ganita Sutra-1, which ultimately is to go parallel with the total Jyoti flow from orb of the sun. It also will ultimately go parallel with the consciousness impulses from Chit, the consciousness organ. And this consciousness organ will manifest as foundation of the intelligence beats of the intelligence field created by mind. From here, we can have an idea as to how we have to be parallel with the organization format features of the text of Ganita Sutra 1 to have real appreciation, complete insight, appropriate enlightenment of mathematical domain of the Ganita Sutras, having foundation as of the Ganita Sutra 1, the sources. Table 3 is about the further features. These features are as that the first letters of the 16 sutras, first letters of Sutra 1 to Sutra 16, as are being tabulated here in column 2, with TC values as tabulated in column 3, makes a total TC value 64. And it is this value which will ultimately take us parallel with the format features of a Stapatya miring rod as a synthetic setup of representative bodies, hypercubes 1 to 6 of 1 to 6 space, with 4 space playing the role of creative dimension of 6 space. The column 4 deserves to be imbibed as the values, the total values here, the sequential summation values from the first letter of Sutra 1 to the first letter of Sutra 2 and so on, ultimately up till the first letter of Sutra 16, is taking us through the value 6. We know value 6 is the value of 4 folds 0 plus 1 plus 2 plus 3 of the hypercube 2, a representative regular body of a 2 space in the role of spatial dimensional order of a 4 space of 4 folds 2, 3, 4, 5 of summation value 14. So C, beginning with value 6 and reach up till value 14, is sequential steps of the foundation, and these are that we have to begin with hypercube 2, and this setup as dimensional order will lead us to creators of space, a fourth space. A step ahead, the value 20 is the TC value of Ved. Value 25 at next step is the value of formulation Prithvi as well as of formulation Vishnu. Step ahead, the value 27 is the value of Prarabdha. Value 29 is parallel with the value of Lord Brahma. The Brahma formulation is of TC value 2, and Brahma is the presiding deity of the creators of space. Like that, when we will reach up till 64, we will be blissfully parallel with the insight and enlightenment of this organization. Table 4 is the enlistment of the last letters of the text of Ganita Sutras 1 to 16. However, for a comparative view with the first letter, the columns are being retained. It is this retention is to be appreciated. The table 5 is the table of the curve format of the TCV values of formulation Eka Adhik N. It is this curve which will sequentially provide us needed insight to see how sequentially the chase along this curve will be parallel with the chase for the Rishi, Devata, Chand, and Swar of Richas. Therefore, we can be blissful to imbibe as that the Vedic mathematical domain with Ganita Sutra-1 as its source sutra is laying proper foundation parallel with the organization of the Vedic order. It is this feature which is of added happiness, added satisfaction, added bliss as Ganita Sutra 1 makes a virtuous format parallel with the organization format of Vedic knowledge. Table 6 is taking us to the integrated format of Ganita Sutras and Ganita Sutras. Ganita Sutras are making a discrete range of 16 points. These discrete points are having gaps. These gaps are to be bridged to be parallel with the continuity. The continuous state for the discrete points range is the challenge which has been duly accepted and worked out. It is this success of the organization of the text of Ganita Sutras and of Sutras which makes it, places it at higher pedestal. It is this higher pedestal reach of these features which are going to be ultimately exploited by the Vedic system as applied values of the pure values of as the technology and sciences. Finally, today in table 7, we are face to face with the application, one demonstration of the applications of the Vedic mathematical domain of Ganita Sutras. This application is as to how the Vedic mathematics is leading us to the organization of 42 meters as has been settled and preserved in chapter 2 of Pingal Chand Vedanga. Therefore, the sadhakas are fulfilled with intensity effort to be parallel with the organization format features as well as the mathematical domain values as pure values reservoir and as applied values reservoir shall sit comfortably and to permit the transcending mind to be parallel with these tabulated structural organizational features and in terms thereof to melt the existing mental state because of the linear order set up of our physical world. The solar universe organization format transcends the linear order, and it is this transcendence which is to be attained Therefore, to have proper glimpse of the format features of Ganita Sutra 1, which will ultimately be our tool of claiming that we are parallel with the organization format of Ganita Sutras as the organization format of our solar universe. Thank you very much.